What's happening? This is the officially unofficial Geek channel, and I've done it 3 weeks in a row. I've done it. I've done it. I've read all the comic books 3 weeks in a row. I'm getting my video done on Thursday. This is pretty fucking cool. Okay, guys, so anyways, this is the officially unofficial Geek channel. My name is Carrie Quinn. If this is the first time you're joining us, this is my comic book review. And it was a good week, guys. It was a good week. I feel like I might sneeze. This may be the first recorded sneeze in officially unofficial Geek history. Hold on. Maybe not. Maybe the moment has passed. Maybe the moment has passed and I am not going to sneeze in front of y'all right now, which is a good thing. Save a little bit of that, secrecy and all that. I thought it might happen there for a second. Okay, anyways, this is my weekly comic review, guys. And I recently switched to doing the comic book review a little bit earlier in the week to kind of give you guys a little heads up on what's out there. Maybe there's something I'm reading that you weren't going to pick it up, and maybe I can convince you either way, possibly. Guys, what am I saying? I can't convince you of shit. I am going to, however, tell you what I thought of it. And then you guys can make your decision based on all the factors that you factor in on whether you want to read a book or not. So, yeah, that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing. And that's why you're here to watch my video. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all the comics, but we're going to talk about them in no particular order. These are the comics that I read this week. They're all recent, except for one. One is a little old. That's because I had to have it ordered, and it just recently came in. So, with that being said, I am hoping upon hope that I can find the other issues in the series. So I don't really want to wait. But how about we not make y'all wait to hear about it? So, let's go ahead. Let's talk about these. These are in no particular order until we get to the final top 3. And, yeah. So, here we go. We try to do these as spoiler-free as possible. Sometimes little bits show themselves, and, that's just how life happens, you know? Anyway. So we're going to start with the one that's kind of an old one, but still kind of recent. And I had heard about this. I follow the writer on Instagram. I have seen them do panels, interacted with them through those panels, and just seems like a really okay dude. Pretty cool dude. I'm speaking, of course, not of course, like everybody knows. Shit. Okay. I am speaking of a new book that recently started called Dahlia in the Dark, written by Joe Corallo. And I had to specially order that first issue because I got in late on this one. Sorry, guys. But I did want to talk about it because when I did read it, it did make me want to find the others. I know that 2 is out, and I know that 3, I'm pretty sure, comes out next week. So I need to get on that. I tried because my shop does not actually have number 2. And I tried to find it digitally to no avail. Unless anybody knows where I can find Dahlia in the Dark number 2 digitally, please tell me in the comments. I would be forever grateful. Um, I really enjoyed this story. It's very interesting. It gave it's one of those like the so basically what you got is you got Donnie. Donnie is a kind of like a delivery dude, except it's not like a typical delivery. He kind of does like tasks for this dude. It's all very kind of mobster like, but he is tasked to accompany another person to make a delivery across country of this package. Well, it's kind of like one of those like movies, like it's like a heist movie, like there are different um point of views involved. It's like a chase heist type of situation. There are different point of views that you're looking at, and different people want this package for different reasons, and that's kind of what you're dealing with. And at the end of the first issue, Donnie finds out something about the package that he was not expecting. um I love the different perspectives here. Sometimes when that happens, it can get a little bit confusing, but when done right, it is not confusing, and it's interesting to find out how everyone fits in together with the ultimate object of their desire, which is this package. So I liked it. It made me want to read more. So if anybody, like I said, knows how to find it digitally, number 2, I'd be thankful. Please. Thank you. Um, the next book we're going to talk about today, this week, is Batman number 132. I wasn't hating this, but yet I wasn't over the moon about it. We have Batman in a different dimension, and he starts running into different people in that dimension. Obviously, look at the cover. Um, and their version in that parallel universe. And he has to deal with that. And you get a lot of in Bruce Batman's head internal monologue. You get a lot of internal monologue, which makes complete sense in this story. Now, the story itself is a trope. And there's a reason why it's a trope, because it's a tried and true kind of concept of a superhero all of a sudden being flashed over to a parallel universe and having to deal with the consequences of that. If that is a storyline that appeals to you, and all that, then Batman is right now at a good place for you. You go back a couple issues and jump in to Batman. Because right now, that is what's happening. Um, I would say you want to go back to the last issue of the failsafe arc. Just go from there and move forward. You're only really dealing with a few issues here, including this one, to get you caught up. So, not a lot of caught up needed in this circumstance. You are also dealing with the second story, which is very much a Tim Drake detective story, which is really cool. And honestly, to be completely real with you here, the Tim Drake detective type tale where he is convinced and he knows Batman is not dead, Bruce is not dead, he has to try to find him. He knows this. It's very much a Tim Drake detective tale, and I'm gonna share with you possibly the unpopular viewpoint. I'm going to say it's unpopular because this viewpoint I'm about ready to share with you is possibly unpopular because of the connotation and what people seem to think of the secondary stories in most of these books. People view them a lot of times seemingly as filler and unnecessary. However, I think that if I were to gauge the importance of the two tales in Batman each week or each month lately, ever since they got to the point where the second story is the Tim Drake story, detective story. He's trying to figure out what happened and find Batman. It's the superior tale. It's the superior storyline to the main story. Now, if I recall, I'm pretty sure, let me look real quick. I'm pretty sure both of these are written. Hold on one second. I'm pretty sure both of these are written by the same person. I'm pretty sure they're both, yeah, they're both Chip Zdarsky. So, either way, the Tim Drake detective tale that ends up being the second story ends up being the superior tale. And I wouldn't be at all upset if it kind of switched focus. Meaning the book switched focus. Whereas in we get more Tim Drake trying to figure out where Batman is than this Batman's in another parallel universe tale. Um, just my thought on the whole thing. You know, whether it works or not, I don't know. Next book we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Muscle Media Static #1 Season 2. This is actually the first, I'm going to be honest with you, this is the first Static book I've ever read. And what's really great about jumping into Season 2 is that you have a previously in Static page that explains very well everything I could possibly need to know to jump into Static right now. That's what's great about this, because I am not confused at all, folks. I was able to jump in to Static Season 2, issue #1, and I knew exactly what was going on. No confusion whatsoever. I was able to jump into it and I was able to enjoy it. I have seen the cartoon of Static, and everything that I've seen, um, I knew that there was a very grand possibility that I was going to like this very much, which I did. Um, I was worried that some of the confusion that I had when I was reading a good deal of Blood Syndicate Season 1 was going to be revisited upon with Static. Thankfully, I that was not the case. Thankfully, not the case. And if you are interested but worried about jumping into Static at this point, do not worry. Jump in. Just read that previously in Static page right at the beginning, right when you open it up. It's right there. It's 3 paragraphs, and you're golden. You're golden. Okay. So, the next book we're going to talk about is the DC Lazarus Planet Next Evolution one shot. This with the other Lazarus Planet issues have been um, issues with different smaller stories contained within different characters within the DC universe and how they are dealing with everything happening, what they're doing, all that. So we start off. There's four tales. Four. Um, we start off right out of the gate with a Rom V written story of Red Hood, which I don't think was long enough. I think that I don't know what it is about Rom V, but apparently whenever he touches something, it turns to gold. I do dare say he is one of my favorite writers at this time. Um, he is the kind of person that could make, if you are not interested at all in Jason Todd and Red Hood and you read this, you're going to be like, what's going on here? What's up with this? Yeah. So that was great. We had a story. Let me just break this down to you like this. We had two good stories and two, I don't know. I don't know. Okay? The two good stories, Red Hood, which sets up um, the arrival later on in the game of a new group of characters. We have, oh, and it possibly sets up something that could be the result of something happening in another book. And I will try to share with you that as much as I can when I get to that book because it's tonight. So let's put a pin in that and get back to that in a moment. But so we have the Red Hood tale. Um, the we have the Amanda Waller Dead Eye meeting in an astral plane, which I am not exactly sure what the point of that was. Except to talk about how there was a character that was affected by the Lazarus Rain and going after Deadeye, who was apparently sent after Deadeye by his aunt, not to kill him, but to improve him. We have a very good story with a nice little ending for Flatline. I like Flatline in that she's got some sass, she's got some moxie, and she has new powers that display themselves in this story. You gotta read it. I don't want to give too much away. If you're not wanting to pay to read this and you happen to have the DC Infinite Universe Ultra, you can stand to wait probably until next month to get into that and read it, but do it soon or else you'll be confused probably. Anyways, what I'm saying is with the Flatline story, not only is it fun to read because she's got sass and moxie, but there's also a possibility of implications for the future. Like it's one of those things where like they sat there and they said there's going to be things that are going to affect the DC universe forever with this goddamn Lazarus Pit thing. And I have not really felt the urgency anywhere in this goddamn thing until even just a little teensy bit with this Flatline story and the ending of it. Teensy bit. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. The last story that is in this book is a story that involves Red Canary And I really am just thinking that it feels like it's shoehorned in there. And there's nothing really seemingly all that important there. I mean, let me look at it again. Like, no. So, like, there we go. Basically, she's deciding that she might not want to go to school. And I really don't think I'm giving too much away here, guys. This is exactly the point of the Red Canary story, that she thinks that maybe she's not meant for college. Sorry. I know I spoiled the whole goddamn story for you. I suck, I know. But that's basically what you're dealing with. If you want to read her journey involving that, if you like Red Canary, I liked Red Canary. Please do not get me wrong. I like the concept of Red Canary that we got during Dark Crisis. I like it. It's cute. She's adorable. They could have done something more with this story. It would have been cool. It could have been cool. So, guys, we're at the top 3 now. So, let's get on with it. All right. Top 3 books this week. We're going to start with this one, The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing. Number 5, we are seeing more and more a connection between the second story and the first story and what's going on there. We're seeing more and more connection. And as it turns out, we thought what we thought was going on, and not only what characters in the story thought were going on, might not have been, well, we know that they weren't the whole story. It's very much, will the real Joker please stand up? I was thinking for a while that there might have been multiple Red Hoods. I do not think that anymore. I think there is one Red Hood. There is one person running around doing Red Hood things. Um, Something happens at the end of this issue involving Red Hood that makes me think might loosely tie into what we're seeing in Lazarus Planet, because in the beginning of his story in the Lazarus Planet issue, he's very much a how did I end up here? You may be asking yourself, how did I end up here? This is not my beautiful home. This is not my beautiful wife. That kind of thing. Except not. But just when you think you have anything figured out involving this book, it comes in and it's like, did you though? And I like that. I like a book that's going to keep me guessing. Because, sometimes it's fun. The next book we're going to be talking about in my top 3, and I got the most coolest cover. Oh my god. I can't believe I got this cover. I can't believe it. I love this. I have been really digging the David Mack covers that you see every once in a while. Like, I know that this week as well, there was another David Mack cover for this particular book, and there was a Spawn David Mack cover that I was seeing, because I don't typically read Spawn, so, but I did think it was quite pretty. Okay, it was quite pretty, and I liked it. But I'm so happy that I have this one. I absolutely love this whole watercolor thing, and I have a friend that I actually probably should take a picture of this and send it to her, because she's an artist, and she would flip over this cover because of the watercolor. She does a lot of watercolors. Um, But this is Marc Silvestri's Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. I got that Catwoman cover. Just look at this. Just look at this for a moment. Let's just look at this. This is gorgeous. And one of the questions, because my boyfriend gets to, gets through these a lot quicker than I do, that I asked him is like, is Catwoman even in the issue? Read the book. Um, so we are obviously still working in this whole Elseworlds tale where Batman and the Joker have to team up to save Gordon and Harley Quinn because they have been kidnapped. And it all involves very riddle like problem solving issues that the bad guy keeps throwing at them. And they've got a new one in this issue. Um, you also find out more about our villain, which is. Ooh, okay. Um, it's hard to describe this without giving anything away, but you do find out more about our villain. If you've been reading it, it has definitely um, been very heavily hinted at in the story. It's not really making you sit there and wait for information. The story is already heavily hinted at this villain. They discover more information about the little weird Joker zombie guys, and you just gotta check it out. It's a really weird sound outside. It was really weird. Okay, guys, so just one moment. Just one moment. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I paused the video to go and make sure that it didn't really loud truck video, that kind of thing. And then I couldn't get my camera to record again. I pressed it to pause it, and then I went to unpause it, and it just went kapooey. But I'm back. Yay! Okay, so where was I? I was going to tell you about my last book, which is, I haven't been reading this one, but y'all know how much I like my girl Harley, and how much I like Harley and Poison Ivy together, that I had to pick up this book, and it did not disappoint. Did not disappoint at all. It made me. It made me cry. I'm not afraid to admit it. I have feelings, and this book made me cry. And what's the easiest way to Carrie's heart in regards to comic books? Make her feel something. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens here. Um, you know, Harley Quinn comes to visit Poison Ivy, saying, "I got your letters and I want to hang out." And you know, Harley and Ivy things, and you also have some really cool moments where um, Harley really just kind of gets at the heart of what's going on, possibly with Poison Ivy and how she's been feeling. And it's just, there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of feels in this, a lot of beautiful romantic feels, and yeah, I mean, what else can I say? Plus, the art is beautiful, the writing is beautiful. It just all fits together. There's really just not much else you can say besides it's Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn being Pamela and Harley, and there's beauty in that. Lots of beauty in that. Yeah. But that's it. That's it for me, guys. That's all I read, and that was my top three. So my top three is Poison Ivy, Batman and Joker Deadly Duo, and The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing. Great books, guys. Um, Let me know what you read in the comments. Let me know what you thought of what I read and what I had to say. And until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. Because remember, the complacent never make a difference. I'll be seeing ya.